Welcome to today's workshop. We're going to be talking about SEO secrets, myths, and truths about being found online. Here's some of the things that we're going to cover. We're going to talk about gaining insight into being found online. What does that mean? How does it work? We're going to talk about hearing some truths and forgetting about those myths. And we're going to cover some of those myths so that you know what you can kind of put in the back burner and say, that's not true. We're going to talk about conducting research to find the right keywords for your brand, as well as do a little recon to find out what your competition is doing, what words are they buying, how much are they spending every month. And then we're going to talk about how do you implement these keywords once you find them. Where do you use them on your website? How do you use them in email? Can you attach these things to pictures and video and content? We're going to cover all of that today. But before we do, let's talk about what is SEO and why is it important? SEO, search engine optimization, website optimization with no dough. I like the O in this because it's a great form of alliteration. It's easy to remember. SEO is no dough. Though you don't actually spend any money on SEO, you don't buy space for it, you do have to put a lot of time, effort, and resources into making sure you do it correctly. That's where it does cost because you need someone that needs to address that in your organization. It also helps you to gain search rankings naturally versus buying your ranking. So by combining these efforts of putting the right keywords in your web pages, on your content and your images, and then leveraging that through search rankings, your organic search is going to be much higher, and people tend to trust that more than they do a paid search. Let's talk about 5 of the secrets. Shh. Now don't tell your buddies about this because you need to have a leg up. One of those is submitting your website to a search engine. How many people in the room have a website, and have they ever submitted it to a search engine? If you haven't done it, this is free. It's something I recommend to everyone who has a website. If you've just launched a website, definitely submit it to the search engines. If you've redesigned a website, submit it to the search engines. If you're adding a bunch of new content, changing pictures, making changes to content, resubmit your site to search engines, because what happens then, the search engine goes out and indexes all of your content, moves it up into its index versus it being found naturally, which could take months and months, possibly even a year, for the search engines to find your content organically. Keeping your content fresh. One easy way to do that is by adding a news feed. If you use WordPress, there's a plug-in news feed. Use a resource that you trust. Whether it's something in your industry, a newsletter feed that you might be getting from an organizations that you work with, etc. That content is fresh all the time. You can also do this through adding blogs and other types of content to your website. Letting the long tail wag the search. Instead of using generic words and terms on your website, like in this case, San Francisco bakery is very generic, versus San Francisco French bakery is a little bit more specific. So think about your business and what is really specific about it that you want to be able to leverage so that you can be found for the right things versus just being thrown into a pool with a bunch of other people. The devil is in the details, and this is where we're going to start talking about exactly what you need to be doing on your website to help with that search engine optimization. Using meta fields, and this sounds like it's complicated, but I'm going to show you some screenshots. It's really not all that hard to do. It's just something that you need to pay attention to. And then keeping users in mind, using the right words. When Google came out with their Panda algorithm, they wanted to use and change things from a keyword focus to a user or a visitor focus, using words like we, us, together, them. Those types of words help you to be found organically because they're very human words.